It is the 14th day of March 2023. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch and Hope TV, the station where you look and live. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. We're also streaming live on our social media platforms at Hope TV Kenya. Let us dive into the day's stories. President William Ruto has announced the revival of the construction of controversial Arror and Kimwarer dams in Elgeyo Marakwet County and Itare Dam in Baringo County. The president made the announcement while addressing the press at State House Nairobi after he met with Italy's head of state, President Sergio Mattarella. As Tiffany Wamboi now reports, the projects, which have been marred by scandals and graft cases, will now go on as planned with help from the Italian government in a bid to provide service delivery to Kenyans residing in the Rift Valley.
In a bid to resolve the stalemate involving the Arror, Itare and Kimwarer dams in the Rift Valley region, the Kenya Kwanza government is set to resume the construction of the dams to fulfill the campaign promises made before the August 2022 elections. This decision comes after former President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2019 called off the construction plans after investigations unearthed a multi-billion scandal involving former state officials who faced charges over conspiracy to defraud the government. Speaking during a joint meeting with Italian President Sergio Mattarella, President William Ruto announced that the cases which have been pending in court will now be withdrawn and the government will focus on completing the construction project.
Arror and Kimwarer dams, an issue that has stalled the construction of those three dams now for almost 3 years. I am happy to report to the nation that the government of Kenya and the government of Italy have agreed, and in fact, the process of sorting out the matters in court has already started in earnest.
President Ruto, while acknowledging the vital role played by the water structures in various counties, including Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet, stated that the two governments will restructure the financing geared towards the project.
We have agreed that the financing that was already made available is going to be restructured and the projects are going to start. We intend to clear the court issues in the next 1 month and be able to start the process of negotiating the restructuring of financing, and hopefully we should be able to go on with the construction of these dams in a matter of months.
Ruto lauded the Italian government, led by President Mattarella, for committing to support Kenya as an arbitrator in the ongoing peace negotiations for countries afflicted by war in the East and Horn of Africa.
Kenya appreciates Italy's pledge to support our efforts to restore regional peace and security, including in the Horn of Africa, the efforts we are making in our sister country in Ethiopia, in South Sudan, and in DRC, not to forget the combined efforts we have in Somalia.
The two heads of state equally signed a memorandum of understanding and agreements that will see an advancement of bilateral relations and further provide a framework for cooperation in various fields, including the health sector.
We have signed an MOU through which our two countries shall cooperate in the fields of health towards the realization of universal health coverage and improved pharmaceutical production
within the region in terms of any form of...
The Arror and Kimwarer dams have been on the spotlight in recent months, especially over the misuse of funds by former government officials, including former Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich, as the project was being overseen by Italian construction firm CMC di Ravenna. Prosecutors working on the case have previously stated that no progress has been achieved as the Italian firm won the contract more than 6 years ago. Tiffany Wamboi for Hope TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Tiffany, for that report. Now, the inter-religious leaders led by the National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, are calling on President William Ruto to spearhead national dialogue with the opposition amidst agitation over the high cost of living. Addressing the press, the leaders urged the Kenya Kwanza government to fulfill its pre-election pledges and endeavor to foster unity among Kenyans as the current political rhetoric was polarizing the country. Whitney Akinyi with more.
In the midst of the country's unrest, as the opposition Azimio la Umoja One coalition calls for mass protests to find answers to the alarming rates of inflation ailing economy, the religious leaders from major faiths have shared their sentiments in a joint press statement dubbed "With Hearts Both Strong and True." Speaking at Ufangamano House to reflect on the state of the nation, the leaders commended the President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua for the leadership they have offered since they began their term 6 months ago. They, however, urged the president to consider spearheading a solution-oriented politics that seeks to address issues facing the country.
We commend you for the leadership you have provided to the country since assuming office. Having settled in office, we now urge you to lead your administration on focusing on solving the problems Kenyans are going through. The nation is depending on you to give forward-looking rather than reverse-heading leadership. Just as you accepted to spearhead the issue-based campaign before elections, we now urge you to spearhead solution-oriented politics and administration.
While commending the opposition under the leadership of Raila Odinga for the role it is playing, terming it as very vital in the country, the clerics, however, urged the opposition to reconsider using the proposed mass action program and instead resort to embracing dialogue and other peaceful approaches that do not threaten the lives and livelihood of Kenyans.
Moving forward, we encourage the opposition to become a bastion of proposing viable solutions to ameliorate the immense suffering Kenyans are experiencing. In this regard, we urge the opposition to reconsider the proposed mass action program and instead embrace dialogue and other peaceful approaches that do not threaten the lives and livelihoods of Kenyans.
On the nomination of the former CITAM Bishop David Oginda to the chair of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, the religious leaders wished him a smooth term in the event that his nomination sails through in the National Assembly. Meanwhile, as the evacuation exercise is ongoing in the banditry-prone areas of Samburu, the religious leaders are urging the government to carry out the exercise humanely.
We have been consulting with the government with regard to make sure that the operation that is being carried out is in line with protecting of lives and property of people and making sure that we do not do any harm. We are wishing him well in his appointment, and we are hoping that he will continue with the good work that has been done by Archbishop of Bukala.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Whitney Akinyi.
Thank you, Whitney, for that report. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya leader Raila Odinga has sensationally declared Monday next week a public holiday to allow his supporters participate in the mass action against what he terms as an illegitimate Kenya Kwanza government. While addressing a political rally in Siaya County, the opposition leader said the mass action will be peaceful and that the demonstrations are the only alternative they have. However, Odinga's declaration of Monday as a public holiday does not hold water, as the Constitution vests this power on the Interior Cabinet Secretary, who declares any day a public holiday through a gazette notice.
We need to have a protest march after our ultimatum was completely ignored. Secondly, this is going to be a very peaceful procession. And that's why we've said we don't want any kind of violence. We don't want any bloodshed. It's going to be peaceful. And I've also said that we don't want any kind of handshake. The people of Kenya, Kwekwisha, have all the time said, oh, Baba wants handshake. That's why he's doing this. We are not doing this because of handshake. We are doing this because it is the right thing to do the only alternative we have to be able to get our rights back. Because of that, Monday is on. And I will hereby now declare today, in the name of Azimio, the Umoja One Kenya Alliance coalition, that Monday, 23rd of March, sorry, let me repeat again. We declare that Monday, the 20th of March, will be a public holiday.
Now, just a day after politicians from Nyanza declared that they will work with President William Ruto's government despite threats from Azimio leader Raila Odinga, a section of leaders from Nyanza led by former Governor Evans Kidero have joined the United Democratic Party UDA. Speaking to the press, Kidero said that despite calls from the opposition, they will not support the demonstrations at the risk of remaining behind as the rest of the country develops.
Leaders must be bold enough to overcome the little barriers dividing us and focus on the numerous frontiers that unite us. For in unity lies a greatness of a nation. It is for this purpose that the leadership present with us today has seen fit to join the UDA party. This is no longer an exercise of crossing the floor by members of other parties, but the spreading of the carpet wide enough for each person to feel the warmth of the room.
We had a good meeting with the President and the Deputy President yesterday, and we were very happy and greatly assured that despite Luo Nyanza not voting the President and the Deputy President, actually, instead of giving him a poyo, we gave him oyeyo, which is a small rat. But despite that, the first place that the President visited was Nyanza, and he followed it with another visit within 3 months. And in those 3 months, he has assured the Nyanza people that we must be part of the Kenya.
We have decided, not because of coercion, we have decided to move on, to change our people. But I want to inform you also that our people had moved ahead of us. Our people have moved ahead of us. They will start to say that those are people who have been given jobs, they have been rejected by the voters. But I can tell you today in Nyanza, our people have moved ahead of us. We are chasing them. And we want to chase them so that we offer leadership. We are here to offer leadership to our people so that they do not go ahead of us without a leader.
And on a similar breath, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya has dismissed efforts by the opposition demonstrations, saying that he will work with the Kenya Kwanza government. Natembeya, who is set to visit State House tomorrow, has said that the area needs to collaborate with the national government so as to enhance development in the county.
Tupate shia yetu, maana wamekuwa wanatubrandi sisi kwamba ni watu wa upinzani. Ndio naona mahali kama Saboti hapa ilikuwa na Wamalwa, ilikuwa na Mekitare, ikakuwa Zina nani, sasa iko na Kale, hadi ni upinzani. There's no single tarmac road there. Watu wanakula shida. So Trans Nzoia, we are going to claim our position by working with the national government, because we pay. Kwa sababu tunalipa ushuru wa national government. Ama tulipa ushuru, KRA wanaweza kuachia hata shilingi 2. Alafu pesa ikienda pale tu anasema wa jamaa siasa yao sio mzuri, tuweze kuwapatia pesa. Mimi sitakuwa kizingiti. I'm going to facilitate pesa ikuje wapi? Kuja Trans Nzoia. Si ndio? Na Raila alitufunza hii maneno ya cooperate with national government. Ama nani alitufunza hizi? Yeye anajua pesa ya county haitoshi. Ukienda Kisumu is a city. Hiyo barabara mahighway ukienda kule mpaka wako na port. Na wako na modern markets. Kwani hiyo ni kama ni wanyama nyuma.
On that note, let us take our very fast break on Newswatch tonight. Don't go away, we will be back with much more news.
This week on Testify.
This guy came and he opened the Bible. They told me, he read for me, do not drink water only. When I attempted to drink, most of the half of it fell on my chest.
You're still shaking.
I'm still shaking. So the guy here, he told me, now I have known why you are shaking. The place where we read,
Yes.
it said wine. This is alcohol. We have to change.
Hope TV. Look and live. Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji has called for a review of the National Government Constituency Development Fund's NGCDF revenue sharing formula. The Member of Parliament said the current formula of allocating all constituencies an equal amount of funds was discriminatory by not putting into consideration other factors such as population. He said it was unfair for constituencies with higher populations to receive the same allocation as the sparsely populated ones. Speaking while issuing education bursary checks amounting to 36.3 million shillings to day and boarding secondary school students in the area, Mukunji opined that the population size of an area that should it is the size that should determine allocations.
Mimi sielewi kwa nini Manyata constituency ambayo iko na shule karibu 170, ambayo iko na watoto karibu 15,000 mashule, inapewa pesa the same na constituency ingine huko ambayo iko na watoto pamoja na wazazi na kila mtu only 50,000. Inakuwa ngumu sana. Ati nilikutana na rafiki wangu mbunge wa mahali fulani, ananiambia mimi nimelipia watoto school fees kutoka form 1 mpaka form 4. Nikamuuliza, wewe uko na watoto wangapi? Akaniambia total number of kids wale niko na wao kwa shule zote zangu ni only 1,000. 1,000. Lakini Manyata constituency saa hii iko na 20,000 kids katika shule zetu. Ati alafu tunaambiwa shikeni pesa the same. Hiyo ni mnaitikia ama mnakataa? Mnaitikia ama mtakataa? Mimi nimesema na nimeanza kutayarisha bill ya kuleta kitu naita one man one shilling. Kama Manyata hakuna haja ya kujulikana tuko na land kiwango gani. Hata tujulikane sisi ni watu wangapi. Sawa sawa? Mimi napewa 151 million, lakini hapa chini kuna mtu ako na ward 3 anapewa the same amount of money. Hiyo ni unfair, na kama kuna mahali tulichengwa kama watu wa Mount Kenya ni mahali ya kugawa rasilimali ya serikali. Haiwezi kuwa tunang'ang'ana sisi kufikisha hata at least mtu apate 3,000. Orphans wapate at least kitu anaweza lipa nayo school fees. Lakini kuna mtu analipia kila mtu, hata inabaki anaitisha wengine huko nje, kujeni niwasainie basari.
The National Ports Management Authority (KPA) has delivered 1.5 million shillings worth of food to hungry families in Kinango sub-county in Kwale County. The region has a total population of 38,000, most of whom are facing hunger. KPA Board Chairman Benjamin Reddy said the situation in many parts of Kwale remains tense due to poor rainfall and revealed that the KPA will ensure that drought victims who need emergency food are helped. Food distribution was also carried out in Tana River and Taita Taveta counties. The NDMA report showing that Kenyans affected by hunger have reached 6 million.
Kupitia CSR ya Kenya Ports Authority tumeweza kuleta hapa Lutsangani bandari 650 na kule pia bandari 650 ya unga ambayo itaweza kuwasaidia wananchi kwa wakati huu mgumu waweze kujimudu kidogo, na tutazidi kuendelea kama shirika la bandari. Ile pesa ambayo tutakuwa tunapata ya CSR tutazidi kuwasaidia ili waweze kujisaidia.
Leo tunashukuru tumeweza kushirikiana kwa karibu na shirika ambalo pia ni la kiserikali la KPA, halmashauri ya KPA. Tumepokea hizi bandali za unga na ambazo zitasaidia watu zaidi ya 350. Mbali na msaada wa chakula, pia tunawaomba Kenya Port Authority katika ile kitengo chao cha Social Corporate Responsibility waangazie masuala kama ya ujenzi wa mashule, ujenzi wa mabweni katika shule yetu ya Mwakombe Girls hapa. Pia tuko na primary schools ambazo zimeanzishwa hivi juzi. Kuna Dudu Primary, kuna Gombato Primary. Hizi ni primary ambazo zinataka mijengo ambayo tunaomba wasanii ama wahisani watusaidie katika swala hili.
The Embassy of Portugal in Nairobi has marked the end of a 3-month pediatric ophthalmological care project for needy children in Kenya. The joint initiative, which was an effort from the embassy, a generous couple from Portugal, and Dr. Zara Rashid from the Muthaiga Eye Clinic, saw about 40 children from Kibra, Mathare and Korogocho slums in Nairobi benefit from eye care. Our reporter Whitney Akinyi attended the closing of the project at the embassy headquarters and filed the following report.
For the past 3 months, Victor and Anna, a Portuguese couple, have been on the forefront of an ophthalmological care project in Kenya. The project has seen over 30 children in the slums of Kibera, Mathare, Korogosho in Nairobi, and Isinya in Kajiado County receive free optical eye screening, medication, and glasses if need be. Optical Maxivisão, which means maximum vision in Portuguese language, is a project by the couple that has worked in 4 countries so far, with Kenya being the 5th beneficiary.
This project, it's a totally private project. It was an initiative of a couple who does this in other countries as well. They do it regularly, and they have contacted us, Victor and Anna, to see if we could help them in achieving their objectives for the project.
We've been here in Kenya to help young children with their disabilities of seeing. Just far we reached to 35 person people, and that case children.
Yeah, it's from Kibera with Love and Adu, 2 ONGs, Portuguese ONGs, that make the consults to the kids.
Speaking to us during the symbolic event to mark the end of the project held at the Portugal Embassy, Dr. Zara Rashid echoed the importance of eye screening for all children and talked about possible causes of eye-related problems in the above-affected regions.
Very important for regular screening. I think what this project actually highlights was the importance of screening children at an early age and possibly having a structured program that is possibly sponsored by the Ministry of Education such that it takes place on a regular basis.
The organization has partnered with other non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and children homes in the country in order to find needy children who genuinely need eye treatment. From Kibera with Love, Isinya School for the Deaf, and Wanalea Children Home are among the many beneficiaries of the campaign.
We are from Kibera with Love, an NGO based in Kibera that supports 60 children and youth. We provide for them education, healthcare, feeding program and activities. With the help of Maxivisão, we managed to get glasses for 3 children and for 1 of our staff.
I'm one of the beneficiaries and I'm happy I'm gonna get new glasses.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Whitney Akinyi.
Now, across our borders, about 5 people have been killed and 11 wounded, including a governor, in a suicide bombing in southwestern Somalia. There are suspicions that the Shabab, an Al-Qaeda affiliated group that regularly carries out suicide bombings in the poor and volatile Horn of Africa country, are responsible. Hussein Aden, a police commander, said that a suicide bomber drove an explosives-laden vehicle into a guest house in Badera, where government officials were staying in the town in Gedo region, about 450 kilometers west of the capital, Mogadishu. The officials included Gedo Governor Ahmed Bule Garred and several military commanders. The Shabab rebels have been fighting the internationally backed federal government since 2007. Driven out of the country's main cities in 2011 to 2012, they remain firmly entrenched in largely rural areas. Now, a state of disaster has been declared in 10 districts in Malawi following the death of 99 people after a tropical storm Freddy ripped through southern Africa for the second time in a month. Terrifying amounts of brown water have cascaded through neighborhoods, sweeping away homes. Malawi's commercial hub, Blantyre, has recorded 85 of the 99 deaths, with rescue workers who are overwhelmed using shovels to try to find survivors buried in mud. The storm has also crippled Malawi's power supply, with most parts of the country experiencing prolonged blackouts. According to the World Meteorological Organization, Cyclone Freddy is the strongest tropical cyclone on record and could also be the longest lasting one.
This week on Testify.
This guy came and he opened the Bible. They told me, he read for me, do not drink water only. When I attempted to drink, most of the half of it fell on my chest.
You are still shaking.
I'm still shaking. So the guy here, he told me, now I have known why you are shaking. The place where we read,
Yes.
it said wine. This is alcohol. We have to change.
Hope TV. Look and live. Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and StarTimes Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV. You look and live.
Welcome back. Now in business, Cabinet Secretary of Information, Communication and Digital Eliud Owalo has today launched Economic Innovation Partnership Program Phase 2 of Konza City in conjunction with Korea government. Speaking at the event, CS Owalo said mutual relations between Kenya and Korea has led to the successful implementation of the Year 1 project of Konza City, adding that the project will lead to improvement of infrastructure like roads, integrated control center, establishment of ecosystem startup, development of smart logistic, and development of Nairobi Konza transport corridor. He pledged his ministry's full support to implement the project.
Here today to launch the Year 2 EIPP program. EIPP is the Economic Innovation Partnership Program. That is a partnership between the government of Kenya and the government of Korea. As you are aware, the president visited Korea in December last year, where a mutual beneficial relationship was developed between Kenya and Korea. We've been working together in partnership with KOTRA and the MDs here to develop this partnership, and the MOU was signed in March 2022.
Phase 1 was basically about getting on with the hardware. Now stage 2 and the upcoming stage 3 for 2023 to 24 will be about mainly focusing on the software, which means that we have the Konza Technopolis as a whole, but now we're currently more focusing on the infrastructure, whereas stage 2 and stage 3 will be more about getting the high-tech industries and the facilities and the software programs embedded.
4 additional projects have been approved for implementation during the second year of the development program. These are the preliminary feasibility study for an intelligent transport system and integrated control center, establishment of a startup ecosystem at Konza Technopolis, development of smart logistics, and development of the Konza-Nairobi corridor transport network, ladies and gentlemen. This initiative, therefore, marks yet another great milestone in the development of Konza Technopolis and for the transformation of Kenya through technology and innovation.
Now, in sports, Paul Pogba is set to miss a further 3 weeks through injury with a muscle problem picked up while taking free kicks in Juventus training. The former Manchester United player was absent from the Juventus matchday squad for their 4-2 win over Sampdoria on Sunday because of the issue.